This is the community video for August 2019, and I asked you what is one game more than anything that you want to be revealed or announced, and here are your answers. Hufflepuff of Time. I'd like a sequel to Twilight Princess, maybe connecting Link and Midna again, showing a new villain and adding more of Zelda into the game. So this is one thing that's been talked about a lot, which is how little Zelda is in Twilight Princess. And while I didn't really mind it in the first one, and I think in a lot of ways I kind of liked it, and I'll be giving my reason in the Let's Play. That's a good cheap plug for the Let's Play, an advertisement for the Let's Play. I'll be giving my reason as time goes on, but I can totally see why more people would want her in, especially since in the few scenes that she was in it, she showed so much personality that it's kind of like, yeah, like it would be cool to have more of her in it. And in any sense, a Twilight Princess sequel would be fucking awesome, Hufflepuff. It really would. It would be really cool. And I can't even begin to think what it would be. I think after I finish this second playthrough, I will. But at this very moment in time, all I can say is that that would be really cool. And I think that would sell like freaking crazy. Crimson Piranha, a Paper Mario sequel that's actually similar to 64 and the Thousand Year Door, since, as you know, most people despise the newer ones. Yeah, I do know a lot of people don't like the last three, I think it is. I think reviewers think they're average, and I think the fans who love the series definitely have this view that they are not even remotely compared to the first three games, or in Crimson Piranha's sense, the first two games, I'm guessing. But like for me personally, like I'm probably going to try them anyway. It's probably going to be ill-advised, but I think I'm going to try Color Splash and Sticker Star and whatever other game came out. I don't know if another one did come out. Just because I'm always curious. I'm always curious to see what games are coming out. But to me, Paper Mario and Super Paper Mario are like near perfect games. They're just games that like have no flaws. It's like hard to see what flaws they could have. They're just like so efficient, and they don't go too far into other genres. They just kind of keep to themselves, and because of that, they're able to like hone their craft and hone the game really well, to the point that they're just amazing games. And I know it sounds kind of silly to say games are perfect, but I do think the first Paper Mario is perfect. I really do. And I would love to see another Paper Mario game. I would love to see another Paper Mario game that is probably developed by the original director, maybe, and the original team. That would be really freaking awesome. Negalator, Half-Life 3 and Portal 3. Give us the threes, Valve, goddammit. That's what I read. At least that's how I think Negalator said it. A game that is probably most wanted by a lot of people. I know a lot of people, it's become kind of a meme at this point, like, where's Half-Life 3? Give us Half-Life 3. And I don't know if it's ever going to happen, and the reason because of this is because it's a lot of time and resources, and it's fucking annoying. I know it's annoying. It's a lot of time and resources when Valve are making money off skins and DLC right now, and that's, like, if you think of it, like, they release, like, a bunch of skins, and they make more money on skins than they do if they release the full AAA game, which is sad, but again, this is hopeful. This isn't like, again, I said it could be whatever, and I'm not trying to be like Negalator, like, hey, you're wrong for thinking this. I hope this doesn't sound like that, because I think that if Half-Life 3 was announced, I'd start playing the other Half-Life games, which I've never played personally. I would really like to play them. I hope that I'm wrong. I'm hoping that like someone at Valve is really fighting to get AAA games to be a thing again. I'm hoping someone is doing that, because again, not only that, but I would like another Left 4 Dead, and I think they could make a lot of money off Left 4 Dead. I think Valve isn't done. I think there's a lot of still creative people at Valve who are still some of the most creative minds in history, and I would love to see them be able to like flex that creative muscles once again. Kelsey Kirsten, I don't think this game will ever be made, but I would love a Legend of Zelda game that explores the creation of the Triforce and the connection with the three goddesses. I've always found the dynamic between Pharaoh, Nayru, and Din to be intriguing, and would love an expansion on the tiny bit that we've been given in other games. That was actually written really well. I was just reading them properly. I didn't know I wanted this until now, but now I kind of do. Again, I don't know a lot about Zelda lore personally, but I do like to get into it in the comment section with people that give me information about it, and over time I do kind of like absorb it. There's so much though, isn't there? There's so much, and this idea of like a game where like you can just understand the history of the Triforce at least, and at that point you can kind of, I think for people like me who don't read the books or don't like read into the stories even deeper, to a fault probably at some points, it would be really cool to like to see. a comprehensive history of the Triforce. Maybe even a game that doesn't even involve Link, just a game that, like, you know, maybe has Link in the future or something. I don't know. It would be really cool. Emil Callisto. New Mario and Luigi game. I always loved the series, but it has made a lot of remakes. I want a new great Mario and Luigi game. But hey, take time. So I just wait, like a good boy. Again, I never really played the Mario and Luigi games, but I would genuinely like to start trying to play them. I think sometime in the future would be a really good idea. Sometime next year, maybe 2020 is the year of Mario and Luigi, I think. It's crazy because I'm very fortunate to be a big fan of the Yakuza series and Ryogoto Studio, and be a big fan of Atlas, and being a big fan of From Software, 3 of my favorite studios in general. And it's kind of crazy that, like, because of that, they're very efficient, they get stuff out of time, but they also give out stuff in quality. So I can't imagine what it's like to constantly wait for a new game. And that same with Capcom. Like, Capcom are just busting out these awesome games for me, and it's like, I don't know how it feels to wait for a game too much, because I'm always getting a game that I really like. But if I had to think like a game that, like, I personally would like feel the same way about, that I just want another one of, I don't know. I think always I would love a story-based Tekken where you get to unlock characters. That's always been my dream. But yeah, I'd love to start playing the Mario and Luigi games. I wish I had more perspective on it, Emil, but I don't. Adion Rider. Sonic Adventure 3 is my most wanted game, but it will never happen. Everyone doesn't think this stuff's gonna happen, and it's really sad. Maybe it will happen. Sonic Mania did extremely well. I think if another Sonic game comes out and it does really well as well, I think, like, at that point, they're looking at all of the Sonic franchises and being like, okay, we could probably do this, so we could probably do that, we could probably work with this. I think at that point, you might be having more hope for Sonic Adventure 3. I think, you know, you look at the success of Crash Bandicoot and Spyro. There's no doubt about it when this Crash did so well. They were like, well, we do have a racing game to do with Crash, and it's like, oh yeah, let's remake that as well. And I think that if the next Sonic game does well, they could definitely do some cool stuff with that. 6. I would like to see a sequel to Pokemon XD. It's one of my favorite spin-off games to play. I thought there was more for a second. I don't know, that was my brain. The first time I saw this comment, when I was just looking at the notifications, I thought it was, I want to see a sequel to Pokemon, and XD as like the old laughing face. And I thought, like, this person was like making a joke out of it, being like, I want a sequel to Pokemon, like, you know? But like, then I realized, oh no, Pokemon XD. Pokemon XD is the game that they're talking about. Again, a game that, like, I had to look up. I looked up when I saw the notification, and I was like, what is this? There's so many Nintendo games still that I have not touched. And I think one era that people would agree on my channel that is completely untouched is the GameCube. And I think at that point, I definitely would, like, I definitely have to get more into that genre of game, or into that generation of video games. And I do have a plan to try and get into those generation of video games a lot sooner rather than later. But we'll have to see as time goes on what happens. But yeah, I would definitely like to play something like Pokemon XD because it looks so fucking cool. CJ CJ is really cool, but I don't want to mispronounce his name. Salcedo? Casido? I'm such a bastard. I want an F-Zero game made by the Yakuza team, half racing game, half brawler. I want to punch people as Captain Falcon using the Dragon engine. That sounds fucking sick, CJ. That sounds fucking sick. And I think the word sick, I guess, scrutinized sometimes for using, but I think at this point it's more than appropriate for a game like this. Never played a Captain Falcon game, but I'm a huge fan of the Yakuza series, as CJ would know. So anything in the Yakuza studio or coming from Ryogoto Studio, I will play. Anything. They're making a turn-based RPG, and I'm all for it. If tomorrow they decide to make a platformer with in Kamurocho, I'll be there. I'll be freaking there. That sounds freaking awesome. I cannot. I'm so sorry that I can't pronounce your name. But I'm gonna try my best. It's a K-Pack. I don't want to mispronounce it, but please know that, like, what your answer was, and I'm sure it's a very beautiful name, but I don't want to butcher it and then insult you. But it just started with KPAC. I'm so sorry. Honest answer: I want remasters of the Alice in Wonderland games on the Game Boy Color and Nintendo DS, and the Chex Quest trilogy. These are great licensed games that need more love. I only know the Alice in Wonderland game from PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. That's the only game I really know, but I should pretty check out these games. Because, like, again, like, we all believe that we play more games, you know, like we play lots of, like, more games than, like, humanly possible. We all think, like, you know, we play the most games in the world, maybe, in some cases. And then, like, you look up, you hear someone mention a game, you're like, what the fuck is that? Like, what is that? And, like, I'm the same as well, because, like, I get it a lot with JRPGs where people are like, oh, I never heard of that JRPG, and I'm like, oh, this is what it is. And the same with me with, like, Nintendo games, is like, when someone mentions a Nintendo game, and I'm like, what is that? And they're like, well, check out this. And, like, I love that about video games still, that there's games like this, like Alice in Wonderland, that I still have never heard of. Jimmy T, Zelda Skyward Sword for the Switch. Fuck yes. Let's all put our hands together and raise them to the sky and, like, praise whatever god we have to get this on the freaking Switch. I know that, like, when there was that leak about possibly come to Nintendo Switch, a bunch of people were, like, being really mean about it. They're like, thank God it's not coming to the Switch because it sucks. And it's like, okay, you don't like the game, alright? You don't like the game, but be happy for other people, right? Like, Death Stranding's a perfect example. I'm not into the game whatsoever, but Jesus Christ, I'm so happy that people get to play this game. You know, like, be happy, man. Be happy that other people are happy. Let's get freaking Skyward Sword on the Switch, Jimmy T, let's get it. Madden ZF. I really want to see a Mario Galaxy 3 even after Odyssey. The Galaxy games are still my favorite 3D Mario games. I think they could get really creative with a sequel and just imagine how beautiful the games could be in a modern HD art style. I've seen footage of those games and they're already pretty freaking gorgeous. So the idea of, like, again, yeah, in a modern HD style, updated graphics on the Switch, I think it could be freaking gorgeous too. And again, games I haven't played but I own. I bought the, I have the Mario Galaxy with the soundtrack free with it, which is really cool. All I know is that the people I watch and the people I really respect say that game is a 10. The people that, like, I go to when I need advice on video games usually say it's a 10. So I don't think there's any reason why, like, I shouldn't play these games or try to play these games at some point. This whole thing is just a suggestion for me to play games, isn't it? That's what it is. T-Dog0041. Right now I want a Mario and Luigi Partners in Time remake because they seem to have skipped that game for some reason. I think I own that game. I never played it, but I own that game. I think I bought it on the Virtual Console one day, and then, like, I think something came up that I didn't play it, but I bought it. It was, like, really cheap. Are we gonna be doing a Mario and Luigi Partners in Time gameplay soon? Who knows? I should stop, like, well, I never promise anything, but I should stop, like, planting seeds in people's heads before it's actually happening. You know what I mean? I like to surprise people. Nightmare. Oh, that's a really good name. It's like knight as in, like, soldier, and mayor as in, like, the mayor of a town. That's really good. That's really fucking good. Okay, I'd like the remaster of Tales of Symphonia from the Nintendo Switch with extra features like a fully voiced skits and dialogue, improved dungeon design, and new graphical style in the vein of Tales of Vesperia. I finished Tales of Vesperia when it came out, I think about a week after it came out. That game to me was freaking astounding, not only just because of how, like, good it looked. The combat was great, it was not outdated in any way, shape, or form, the characters were fantastic, but one thing that, like, really stood out to me is how it subverted every expectation I had about JRPGs. Stuff that would usually be in a typical JRPG, just, like, they turned it all on its head, like the main character being too righteous. The main character in this game is not a righteous person. In some cases, people might even say that he's a bad person, but it's still easy to get behind him. I don't want to talk too much about Tales of Vesperia because you're also talking about Tales of Symphonia, which is a game that I tried to play, but I felt like in a lot of ways, after playing all the other newer ones, it was harder to go back. So this idea of remaking it in a new graphical style and with new updates and quality of life changes appeals to me like crazy. I love the Tales series. If you didn't know, I love the Tales series. I'm currently playing Tales of Berseria for the first time. It's fucking amazing. I still love the name Nightmare. Wario Land Gold Pyramid, that's another good name. A new Wario Land game. or at the very least, HD remakes of the Virtual Boy Wario Land because it's on Virtual Boy, and Wario Land 3 because it's one of the most complicated games in the series and could use a few tweaks to help the player figure stuff out. Plus, is my favorite game in the series. Well, there you go. It's always nice to like hope for one of your favorite games to be made, and like I don't think Wario Land's like too far behind. I don't think it's too far behind, but I wonder about the Game Boy games. How much does Nintendo pay attention to the Game Boy games? I always think about this constantly because I'm constantly begging Nintendo to, now that the 3DS is gone, right? Now that the 3DS is gone, I know this is kind of ridiculous, I'm not going to do this, but this is just a dream. This is just my dream. Now that the 3DS is kind of gone, just use it as an old Game Boy game port. Start porting over a bunch of Game Boy games to it. Just make it a Game Boy machine and market it as that. Like, change it, be like, the 3DS is now a Game Boy emulator, and just have like a bunch of Game Boy games that you can play on the game, and release like 3 every month. And I think honestly, like, you would have like Switch selling as the newer console, and then like diehard Nintendo fans running towards the 3DS. That's just my idea. Maybe it's dumb, I don't know, but I think that's probably one of the coolest ways you could do this. Ghidorah. Well, first of all, a Resident Evil 3 remake. Fuck yeah! A remake of Pokemon Colosseum and XD, fuck yeah. Gale of Darkness and another Okami game, even though it's impossible. Let's talk about Resident Evil fucking 3, right? Let's talk about this for a second. I'm sorry for swearing, okay? I like swearing sometimes. I think swearing is good. It gets the point across. Resident Evil 2 Remake is perfect. I don't care what anyone says. You can come at me, and please do. Please do come at me. But like, I enjoyed that game for every single second. There was not a moment in that game, even when I played the game on like expert, like hard mode, and trying to play it in less than 3 hours to get that freaking S+ rank, and it's still so good. It's such a good game. If we get Resident Evil 3 Remake, I will guarantee you that I will upload a video of me dancing for 2 hours straight. I will not do that, but it'd be good to get it, wouldn't it? Thackeray Scroggins. For me, it's either Dark Cloud 3 or Cadence of Hyrule DLC or a sequel. I would just love to see that game brought back from the dead, and Cadence of Hyrule is amazing, and I would love to see more of it, but it's so short. Edit. Scratch all of that. I don't care what comes or doesn't come. I need a slice of life Zelda. Oh my god. Slice of life Zelda game. Just Link and Zelda wandering around doing mundane things, and everything is peaceful, and the story can take precedence. That's what I want more than anything. Again, I didn't know how much I wanted that until I read it. Just like a game where like you're just like a controllable Sims maybe of like Zelda and Link. Maybe the new Breath of the Wild 2 is that. Maybe that's what the evil Ganon is under the Hyrule Castle. He, like when he does the thing where he's like and like shines the light on him, he's actually just like, live your life, kids. You have so much to live for. You know, see the world. You know, maybe that's what he's doing. That sounds fucking awesome. Tactical Pops. I want a new Phoenix Wright game to be released because Phoenix Wright is one of my favorite series. It's probably up there with Mario and Zelda. I played the first Phoenix Wright game. It's freaking amazing. It still holds up incredibly well. I'm kind of waiting to play the other two because when I mentioned that I did play them, people were like, you have to play the Phoenix Wright games. You have to play the Phoenix Wright games. And I was like, oh, okay, I best not like play any more of this just in case I will make a Let's Play of this in the future. And I think it is more than possible now that they've been ported to the PS4 and the Switch. I think the Switch version would probably be the best to play it on maybe. I'm not sure, but I would like to try it anyway. The Pokemaniac. Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist of the Roses remake. This game was my childhood, and having it remade would be perfect. It was a very strange game, but I agree 100%. I rented this every single week for like a whole 2-month period, and it's a fantastic game. Great taste, Pokemaniac, in games, honestly. Like, and I think any Yu-Gi-Oh! Game is great. And the problem is with Konami is that they know how they're gonna make money. They know how they know how to make money. For me, I've always wanted like an open world style or open city style Yu-Gi-Oh! Game, and I would something like Pokemon, something like that, just like in that style. If we got like a Sun and Moon style Yu-Gi-Oh! Game for the 3DS, like I'd be over the moon. I'd be over the fucking moon. JXX Johnny XX12. Nothing would please me more in this world than some sort of announcement of the revival of any games cancelled due to some surprising closure of Telltale Games. Many hearts were broken that day, but if I had to pick one of the cancelled games, it had to be The Wolf Among Us. It's amazing. Season 2, hands down. Even if this never happens, I highly recommend that you play The Wolf Among Us Season 1. I fucking love it. It's also never too late to start the Walking Dead series, which thankfully managed to finish even after Telltale's closure. I played Season 1 and 2, amazing. Definitive Edition will be available in September 10th this year and includes all the seasons. It's perfect for proven crybabies like us, and you don't need to have to watch the show. I would love to play the last 2 seasons on the channel. I would love to do that. I've played Season 1 and 2. When my channel was very small and like nobody watched it, I actually streamed the entirety of Season 2 on the channel. It's not available anymore. I don't know where I could find it. It was a lot of fun. I think Twitch deletes, I think it was on Twitch, and I think Twitch deletes VODs if they last, if they're there for more than 3 months. But yeah, I'd love Wolf Among Us Season 2. I think the thing I want for Telltale Games, since they're being revived, is just for people to get their jobs back and get benefits and stuff. That's what I want really badly, and I can't wait to see what they're doing next, really. I think Telltale Games have a lot to offer the world, and I think those writers and those story makers are really underrated, and they don't get a lot of credit for what they do. So yeah, I would really like that too. Lee, I'd love a sequel to Simpsons Road Rage, or even just a remaster. I love that game, and there seems to be a real lack of fun driving games right now. I would definitely agree. I think I would agree in a lot of senses. Simpsons Road Rage was a part of my childhood too. Simpsons Hit and Run probably more than that. But I would think, like, we know that right now with the Simpsons games is that Sierra, who made those games, is gone. But we know that, like, with the guys who make the Simpsons actually own, like, have like the final say. Fox has the final say, I believe, on whether Simpsons games can be made or not. Wouldn't it be absolutely fantastic if, like, they made a Simpsons collection? And, like, I know, like, they're not all good games, but Simpsons Road Rage, Simpsons Hit and Run, and, like, even the bad games, Simpsons Skateboard and Simpsons Wrestling, I would just eat it up. I would gobble it up. It would be freaking fantastic. Coda Reeves, it's not really a new game per se, but I've got to go with Skyward Sword Remake. It was my first Zelda game and my second favorite behind Breath of the Wild. Maybe they can bundle it with Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, and HD ports. I think a bundle would be the best idea for everyone. I wonder how people would react personally, and this is just my personal take on this, but how would people react personally if Nintendo, after releasing HD ports of it last generation, were like, oh yeah, by the way, here's some more HD ports that you already bought, but now you get to buy again. And I think at that point it would be like, really? Now, I'm not saying, like, you guys know me, I'll buy them. Like, if they release the Wind Waker next week on the Switch, I'm buying it. But I would just think that, like, the most efficient way to do it would be a collection, especially if you're making other Zelda games. Pock. Long time no see, Calvin. My return is about as sudden as my disappearance. Hope you don't mind. I never mind. You can watch my channel in any way what you want. If you only like one of the video series, that's fine. If you like 2 of them, if you like the Let's Plays, if you don't like the Let's Plays, my channel is, it's whatever. You can do whatever you want. Anyways, I'm utterly in love with the way Yoko Taro Sensei directs games, especially Nier Automata. All languages are too flawed for me to even begin to describe how much the game's characters, story, side quests, and themes mean to me. It has impacted me as a person more than any other piece of art ever. So seeing the announcement of Yoko Taro Sensei's next project would certainly entice me greatly. I also suppose seeing the one and only Captain Falcon return with a new F-Zero announced after 16 years would make me shriek in excitement too. Although I have to acknowledge the excitement would mainly be fueled by nostalgia. I think nostalgia is a beautiful thing though, man. Like, a lot of my game choices come from nostalgia. You know, JRPGs are my childhood. Fighting games are my childhood. I was never really into platformers. That's why you'll see me not be as knowledgeable about those things. That's why. But like, it's good to have like that one director that you trust and not only trust, but like have this real reverence towards. I'm the same with Fumito Ueda. I think Ueda is probably, to me, the greatest director in all mediums. And so when he like announces a game next, if he does, I'll be freaking astounded. When he made Last Guardian, and I was sitting there, and his name came up on the screen, and like the song was playing in the background. I think I cried. I think I cried. I was just like, just seeing his name meant so much, and I think I can totally get how you're feeling here as well. left the skeleton. What I'm hoping for since the Smash Bros. Ultimate reveal is a Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie port, or maybe even a HD remake. This will make my childhood come back again, seeing these both great characters return from N64 to Nintendo Switch completely, not just due to DLC and Smash, even though it is so awesome to see them return in general, and maybe one day a Banjo 3E. I think this is more possible than ever. I don't think this is pie in the sky at all. I think this is more possible than ever. Phil Spencer 100% is committed to working with Nintendo. He realizes that the Xbox platform is stronger when it works with other people, and I think that a partnership between them and Nintendo that is clearly there, you've seen it with games already, it makes 100% sense. I think you're 100% going to get these amazing games. Jiggly Perf, that's a funny name. As a huge fan of difficult, even unfair, games, and a total Star Wars nerd, I would like a game modeled after Star Wars, Jedi Knight Outcast Academy, the most interactive melee combat I've played in any game ever. Pair that with the level design so good it's impossible to get lost in a linear game, then after 1.5 hours winding up finding a shortcut back to where you started, and you have one of my favorite games of all time. It's too bad I still find the game for 2002 better than almost anything that comes out since. I mean, like, you know, that's not so bad. Like, I still think the Shadow of the Colossus, a game that came out in 2005, is the greatest game ever made. You know what I mean? Like, it's natural feeling, and I think that, like, it's good to have a game, especially in the Star Wars series, that you love so much. I think Star Wars is going to get a lot more love. I think you're going to see, if the new Star Wars games does really well, I think you're going to see it get so much more love. And even ports of old games are going to happen a lot more. So I think you should be excited about that. Jay Walsh, a good man Jay Walsh. A new Batman Arkham entry, Spider-Man 2, God of War 5, that'll do for now. The Batman Arkham series to me is really fantastic. I would rank them, for me personally, it's Origins, Asylum, City, and no, I'd say it's actually Origins, Night, Asylum, and then City. I don't want me to be a contrarian, that's just how I feel about them maybe, the Arkham games are so special. There's nothing quite like them ever anymore, and there's nothing quite like, will probably not be much like them ever again. The thing about them though is that what I would love for a sequel to these games is for a full city. I'd love for to be in a city where civilians are walking around, where civilians are just like kind of like doing their business, like walking around as Bruce Wayne, or maybe you have to go to work as Bruce Wayne, and then you're called up. Like, have it like be like it's one night of this stuff happening, even though that was kind of perfect, and have it be more like shit is hitting the fan type thing, like every once in a while, and there's a bigger story going on, quite like the Batman movies. If you don't know, I think Val Kilmer is an underrated Batman, and I would love for Val Kilmer to play the Batman in this. That's just my thing. I don't know. Zanpan Khan. Okay, I'm going to cheat and talk about two games. Don't worry, everyone's cheated. But I swear it's because I'm passionate about them. First game would be Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake. That game means so much to me, and if I ever saw a non-cash grab good remake of it, I would just be crying all the way through the game. Second game is Danganronpa 4. This will never happen, but the concept of Danganronpa is so good that I just want to, I want one more game. Sorry for cheating and thank you for reading. You didn't cheat, really. It's fine. Like, it's not that hard to read, really, all your stuff, especially when they're really good. I've never played Metal Gear Solid, never played Danganronpa, but like, I think the two games that I honestly would love if I did try and play them. I think the idea of not getting a cash grab remake is probably not going to happen. I think Konami... Here's my prediction, right? Here's my prediction. I think Konami are talking to Sony and Xbox, and they're like, look, guys, you got the next gen coming out. How about we port all of our Metal Gear Solid games in the collection to over them? They're not gonna be very good ports, but how about we give you them, huh? Is that something good idea? You like that? You like that idea? Is that a good? Is you want that one? You can have the idea for free. You can just take them, put them on your console. That'd be good. I mean, that'd be good. You take those games. You have a bit Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Solid on your console. Metal Gear Solid on your console. You want that? Paper Mario 64 is better than the Thousand Year Door. Most definitely a Paper Mario game. I'm hoping for one more like the original games. I really hope the series isn't dead because of the recent hate for it. I think if they return to the original style of gameplay, even if it was just okay, it will get praised. Those games are amazing. The Paper Mario games are fantastic, and honestly, like, I could not agree more. I don't know what's so wrong with the new games. I'm gonna try them, and you know for a fact the way I play games, I try to find the good parts in them. People are gonna be so angry at me, like, Calvin, this part ain't good, and I'm like, it's like not so bad though, you know. yeah, I would love another Paper Mario game as well, and I even haven't played Thousand Year Door yet. Yeah, I would definitely love that. Guys, thank you so much for submitting your questions. This was a big one. I had a lot of submissions. I'm sorry the video was so long, but that's just how it goes. I'm also sorry for making that really silly joke about Gear Solid at the end. I don't even know what I was thinking. I'm kind of cringing at myself right now, but you know, what can you do? What can you do? You know what? Who cares? No, I don't even cringe anymore, man. I don't actively cringe anymore. Like it's who needs to cringe? Stuff is just fun, you know? Just having fun. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.